In this hobby of car enthusiasts, you spend a lot of time chasing cars and trying to find the right car. And this car found me. It came into a dealership to be traded in for a pickup truck. And when the owner brought it in and I got to see it for the first time, I just couldn't believe my eyes. To see a car like this in this condition, it's triple black, it's original paint, original vinyl top, 4-speed Challenger, all original, was just mind-blowing.
Hollie's a 1970 Dodge Challenger 440 six-pack car, triple black with red stripes on it. Within the Challenger realm, it's the #2 bad actor on the block, with the Hemi Challenger being #1. The 440 six-pack was Chrysler's way of saying, look, it's too expensive to make Hemis all the time and sell them and everything production-wise or cost-wise. We got a great 440 engine here, let's develop it with the six-pack, which they had to develop a few years before that on the Plymouth GTXs and cars of that nature and the original Hemi Cudas and Hemi Darts. It's a derivative of that lineage, and it is a bad actor. I mean, it is one bad actor. That 440 puts out oodles of torque, and it's a tire smoker you can look at it when you smoke the tires. That's pretty much the way it is.
Are you selling it?
You know, they say everything's for sale at some point, right?
That's right.
Yeah, I just got it back. It was away from me for about 12 years.
Oh, really?
Sold it to a guy in England. Yeah, it's a survivor car. It's never been hit. That's original paint from 1970. Original interior, 36,000 original miles. It's a six-pack, 4-speed car. Yeah.
How happy are you?
Pretty ecstatic.
I dream about that car. I dream about the dashboard, the gauges, the way the door locks, the dashboard, the air scoop on the hood. I'll wake up in the middle of the night and it's 440 and the clock's 440 and that's the motor size of 440. It's been harder than a divorce to get over, losing that car. It was in my grandpa's garage when I was 8 years old. And to me, it was as cool as the Batmobile. It was black and it had everything I wanted, a hot rod. It's a special car.
I have a great interest in that car because I originally photographed a story we did on Daryl's car. It's 6 pages.
Hey, Steve. What's going on, man? How you, bud? Good, good. All right. What do you think? Wow. Brings back memories, huh?
Now, Daryl got that car. It's an interesting story.
It was a work day in December. I was working at the car dealership, Carmina Motors, and Steve Corpuz knocked on the door and he let me know that he had caught a customer on the lot.
I see this guy kind of wandering around the vehicle, gravitating towards this like 2002 Dodge Dakota. We just start talking. I'm a car salesman, so I'm just going to find out what's important, why he's looking for this particular vehicle and so forth.
I have a paint company, so I needed a truck to run my paint business.
In closing, he says that, hey, do you guys take in a trade? You trade-ins? I said, yeah, sure we do. He goes, yeah, but this is not like a regular car. This is an old muscle car. I asked him what kind of muscle car it was, and he says, oh, it's a 1970 Dodge Challenger.
My emotions was total disbelief that this could actually really be happening. I mean, in 1970 through 1980, people came in and traded in cars all the time to the dealership like this. In 2004, completely unheard of. So I just really married into the moment and really was appreciative that somehow this car had come into my hands and was going to become mine. Once I saw it, I knew I had to have it. Mopart's 440 is the largest engine they made in cubic inches. They had it in a single 4-barrel, and then they had it in what Hollie has, which is called a 6-pack or a 6-barrel for Plymouth. And what that is 3 Hollie 2-barrels. So you kind of get an idea of where the name Hollie came from, is it has 3 Hollie 2-barrels. It produces 390 horsepower. It's very fast off the line. It's said to be quicker than the 426 Hemi in the first 60 feet. And done right, it can hold its own with any engine that it's racing against.
In my mind now, I'm not telling him this, but I'm thinking it's like, well, you know, typically, I mean, you know, we don't take in like older vehicles here. However, I got one person that I know that would definitely be interested. It was you.
Yeah,
Right?
He was looking to trade in a car to get a truck. He was a painter, and he needed a truck to paint with. So he told me about this car. I couldn't believe it. He said it was a 70 Dodge Challenger, black, 4-speed with a 440 and a 6-pack.
They went in his office and, you know, talked a little bit.
Well, because I was trying to buy the car, my emotions were in check. I had my best poker face on that I could.
Came out and asked Daryl, okay, so what's going on with him? He says, you know, he's gonna bring back the car. I said, well, where's the car? He says, oh, it's gonna take a few hours.
So he had to go home and get it, all the way out down near Kapoho in a subdivision called Wawa.
And it's probably about a 2-hour round trip at least. So at that point, it was just the start of a waiting game.
Because it wasn't an hour, it was like 4 hours later.
Yeah, something like that.
And you were the one that walked in and said, Daryl, the car's here. Couldn't believe my eyes. 2004, somebody trying to trade in a muscle car like this to a car dealership is unheard of, to say the least.
One of the main reasons that I sold the car was because the neighborhood I lived in was kind of rough, and if your car breaks down on the Government Beach Road, the first night it's pretty much ransacked and your tires are gone. The next night it's caught on fire and shoved off the road into a ditch. So, you know, I couldn't have that happening to that car.
I won't put it politely, but I thought he was a dumbass for what he sold it for, because I knew it was worth a lot more money than he sold it for, so I couldn't believe it.
I don't know. It would have been nice if he would have talked to us, I guess. Maybe it would have been such a shock.
My wife and I took it up I-80, and I have a recollection of punching it out, probably 110, 120.
And it was really scary. It was really scary because that car just would, woo.
My wife was screaming and yelling at me.
Slow down, slow down.
In the passenger seat, saying, slow down.
I was afraid.
I guess that was probably the only time I really drove it.
This car because the two colorways, the black and the red, it's really nice and clean and simple. Interior super clean, matches the outside, super nice.
I definitely appreciate these Challengers way more than the new ones, bro, because these are classics. Like, you can't go wrong with the classics.
It's triple black, it's original paint, original vinyl top, never been hit, never been whacked, no work done on it except for a clutch. As I walked around the back of the car and I saw the red stripe, I thought, oh my God, he didn't tell me there was a red bumblebee stripe on the back. And then came around the front of the car, opened up the hood, took off the air cleaner, checked the carburetors. There's 3 2-barrel Hollies on it. That's why they call it a 6-pack. Checked the numbers on it. It was all original. I said, you know, can we take it for a drive? Tori took it on the road and really got on it, and it handled phenomenally.
It was right when the other Challengers came out, so he was really happy to get it.
And all I could think of was, this has to be a dream.
I couldn't believe it. I mean, traded this monumentally valuable car in on a new Dodge pickup. And Daryl, being a car lover and everything else and smart, snapped it up right away. And I photographed it shortly thereafter.
So here's some of the paperwork from the car. It's got every document you could ever want. That's a copy of the invoice sold to Ralph Hottinger on 12/29 of '69. He paid a net $3,367.74. This is the copy of the broadcast sheet. This is the loan documentation. This is the transfer of title, Hinckley Dodge. Here's the credit union documentation. When we got the car, I asked him if they had the broadcast sheet. He said he had no idea what that was. So the first day I got it, we went ahead and took the back seat out. And lo and behold, right here is the picture of the broadcast sheet sitting in the car for all those years from 1969 till 2004. This is a picture with the original Utah license plate that it came with. It's the day that we put the car up on the rack to look at the underneath of the car. Here's a picture of the tail stripe on the car. This is just going over engine compartment. Again, the broadcast sheet, and showing that it originally sold in Ogden, Utah at Hinckley's Dodge.
So it was always interesting to open the hood up on the car because you'd have to pop open the hood and then undo the wire tie downs that were outside of the car on top of the hood.
Okay, so this is Hollie's engine. It's a 1970 440 cubic inch 6-pack motor. It has 3 carburetors, 1 carburetor, 2 carburetors, 3 carburetors. They're all 2 barrels, 2, 4, 6, hence the word 6-pack or 6-barrel. The total CFM flow on these carburetors together is over 1,000 CFM. The way it works is it runs off the middle carburetor all the time, very fuel efficient. You get on the throttle, you get aggressive, the vacuum will put in the second one and pulls in the third one when you're wide open throttle. When you're in wide open throttle, this thing's probably getting less than 10 miles a gallon, maybe 12 at the best. So it's very efficient, very effective. Tuned properly, it runs like a bat out of hell. Hollie has her original fender tag. As far as I know, it's never been off the car. This shows you a lot of the options that the vehicle came with. This helps the assembly team know how to assemble it, along with the broadcast sheet. So you can see it has its original 2 screws, has the tag on it here, which a lot of them are missing over time. You can see the 122 on the valve cover. That tells the assembly line that it's a 446-pack 4-speed motor. It's a manual brake car, and it's also no power steering. So you don't see the power steering pump here, which you would normally see on a power steering car.
In the late 80s, the original owner of the car, who was older and a little crusty, brought it in. He was having troubles because it had sat. We had a really good carburetor guy. We went through the carbs for him. I remember getting the kits for him. We drove it a few times to get that set right and working. And he was very upset that we had put 3 or 4 miles on it. And never brought it back for service, but I talked to him over the years, probably 4 or 5, maybe 6 more times, because he'd come and see me when he needed stuff for it. That was a beautiful car. Even back then where you could tell it had sat, that was a beautiful car.
You know, this car's manual steering. And a lot of people are hesitant of that because they think it's so hard to drive. And yet, once you get going, it's completely just like power steering. The only time the manual steering comes in play is when you're trying to parallel park. And trust me, I don't parallel park this car very often. Thanks, man. Appreciate it. Gas mileage is pretty good. Most people wouldn't believe it. I don't know what it costs to fill the tank. I try not to look at that.
I don't mean to interrupt. It's just not very often I get to see classic American muscle.
Yeah, no worries. Take a look. All right.
That's an awesome car.
Thank you. So you'll notice the shifter is a classic shifter that only Mopar has. It's called a pistol grip. It's made by Hearst. It looks like the handle of a firearm. It was made for a few years, and this car has it. We kept the car from 2004 to 2010, drove it about 700 miles, had it in Cruise Paradise. Was fortunate enough to be friends with the artist for Ren Spooner, and Ren Spooner got commissioned to create the new Dodge Challenger shirt for 2009, and they used this car as the model for that shirt.
Our company, we started a new category of licensed shirts, And one of the great ideas that we had, what do guys like? And one of the best things that guys like are cars.
When the Chrysler, came to us to make a new Dodge Challenger shirt, I knew that Daryl had an original 70 model.
What if we feature that car and use that as our Challenger model?
So I decided to put that with a new model to compare the styling of where these things came from.
And that's a good idea, because we hadn't done anything like that. Usually we feature a lot of cars, but we thought, let's do it real clean. Let's just do one old one and the new car and feature those two together.
I think it's one of the best looking muscle car. Sinister looking, because it's nice and sleek and long. Even compared to the new ones, look kind of stubby, right? You know what I'm saying? Monster torque. I've never driven a car with that much torque until I drove this car.
And as we did the shirt, we started to realize, hey, why don't we even personalize it even further and putting the actual Big Island H plates that were our car into the car itself in our final artwork.
So here's a Daryl shirt, and has his license plate number, and it's called triple black, right? Black body with a black vinyl roof with a black interior, comes with this dog dish hubcap, like a real classic muscle car look. See, even these things like this, looking the pins to hold the hood.
And when we saw that, we knew that was a home run, featuring, of course, the new car that's going to be coming up. It was just a show car at that time. And then, of course, including the historic original Challenger together.
This car is what they call a true survivor. This car has not been doctored, has not been played with. And in Hawaii, one of the concerns is always rust, right? And I knew this car had to go to a really high-end collection to be their centerpiece in a climate-controlled environment. And that's the reason we let her go. We wanted it to go to somebody that would put it in their world-class collection.
I'm lucky enough to look after a fairly prestigious collection of Ferraris, Porsches, a lot of exotic European cars, but part of that collection is a group of muscle cars. The collector I'm talking about, he's always on the lookout for an interesting car, and I guess that's where the Challenger came in. Daryl's car fitted into the criteria mainly because of the paperwork, so you can literally track the history of that car from the day it was purchased to where it is now. And I guess that car coming to the UK is now part of its history as well. So that history continues.
So it was a big surprise when he had told me that he's buying the car back. And the car had gone all the way over to England.
Once Daryl heard that the car was probably going to come up for sale again, he was keen to get the car back. I think he always regretted letting it go in some respects.
So Hollie back to Hawaii was quite immense, It was during COVID times, and shipping a car from Europe to North America is one thing. Shipping a car from Europe all the way to Hawaii is another. The customs clearance and making sure that all the paperwork's in the docks, and that was another amazing event when I introduced Daryl to Hollie. Aloha, Daryl Turner. Come on down.
It was really a pleasure and a true joy to watch Daryl's reaction when we first walked into the warehouse, and there she is, 12 years later.
Yeah. And the surprise on his face, and him walking around the car and looking at the car, and then he had to make sure the paperwork was there. So he opened the car door, looked in the back seat, and he started going through the documents, and his eyes just lit up as it was all there.
So I went ahead and was able to go up to LAX and be able to watch them load the car, prep the car. The orchestration of lifting her up and then moving her and positioning her is just incredible how they do it. It's amazing.
All right, Daryl Turner, bringing Hollie home. Are you ready to lock her in?
Yeah, lock her in.
All right. Okay, you do the other one.
All That's incredible.
So right now we got DHL and a FedEx and 80,000 pounds of perishable. This is the tail of the aircraft. I believe we got about 160,000 on board today. Daryl did sit in his car going 500 miles an hour at 30,000 feet.
I did. So my car's pretty fast as far as we know.
Another fun fact of bringing Hollie home that a lot of people are really going to be surprised about is Connie Kalita is the owner of the 747 that flew Hollie home. So Connie Kalita, the legendary race car driver, owns 27 747s, and Hollie was flown on one of Connie Kalita's 747s from LA to Honolulu and then on to Kona.
It's been to Hawaii, it's been to the UK, it's been back to Hawaii. I don't suppose there are many cars that have done that. This particular Challenger, it had a lot of interesting history, a lot of paperwork. It's the cars that haven't been restored, the survivors, that get the most interest. And a survivor being a car that hasn't had a lot of paintwork, that's still got its original engine, its original transmission. It's not just about finding an immaculate car that's been beautifully restored. It's finding a rare car with all that history behind it that makes it desirable, makes it very desirable.
When Tori had the Challenger, it could have been, just parked out in the trees or something with bushes growing all around it. So it's probably a good thing that Tori did, make the deal. It's best for the car.
Out of all the cars I've ever had, this is by and far the best Mopar muscle car ever. Because it's like driving as close as it can be to driving a brand new muscle car. Because it wasn't beat up on by a little kid trying to soup it up. It didn't put a big cam in it. They didn't put gears in it. He never molested the car. The car drives as good at 20 miles an hour as it does at 75 miles an hour. It's just a phenomenal car. So out of all the cars I could have bought back, this was the one that checked all the boxes.